Hello and welcome to the next webinar in the NextGEOSS webinar series. My name is Bente Lilja Bye. I'm going to be your host as usual today as well. And with me, I have two speakers, Koushik and Joao, and you will learn more about them shortly. We will today talk about the new revamped NextGEOSS data catalog, and we are super excited to show it to you. So that's the program for today. Before we start, as usual, we do a bit of a weather report because not all of you will be able to join immediately. This we know from our times in the university, if not elsewhere. And also, we would like to hear your weather report because we have a chat here where you can ask questions and comment, and you can start by telling us how the weather is like. So just follow the lead here. We will ask Koushik first. Tell us about the weather, where you are, and of course, where you are.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Koushik. I'm based out at Lisbon, Portugal. The weather looks very good. It's sort of, you can smell the start of autumn. So it has been quite warm, but today I think it's quite moderate. And this week it's supposed to be rainy. So we are at least I'm trying to enjoy as much sun I can get by before the rain starts.
Looks wonderful. Sounds wonderful. I haven't seen it yet, but it sounds wonderful. Okay, Joao, your turn.
Okay, I'm working from home today. I'm not in Lisbon. I'm in the countryside of Portugal in a small village called Castelo de Vide. It's my hometown, in fact. So I'm working from the countryside today. And here we have 25 degrees and it's a little bit cloudy today.
Oh, great. Well, I'm in the Arctic, and I was just saying to do a weather report here is very hard because the weather is changing so fast. I'm up in Bodø, which is in the Arctic, beyond the Arctic Circle in Norway. And indeed, the autumn storms they have set in already, Koushik, here. So it's arrived, it has arrived. But the weather is like super sunny in 1 minute, and then the rain is whipping the windows in the next minute. So that's the weather in the Arctic. So let us know what the weather is like where you are, and then, of course, ask questions. Now, housekeeping. Today, we will start by introduce NextGEOSS. Koushik will start to introduce NextGEOSS data hub and platform for you. Then Joao will let you know more about the architecture of the new revamped NextGEOSS Data Catalog 2.0. And finally, Koushik will show some demonstrations on how you can use this fabulous catalog. And then we have some surprising news and announcement at the end of this webinar. I don't think we will do more than 30 minutes from now, just so that you can calculate the time. I'm sure we will share links and also some of the presentations if you are interested. If you have registered, you will get this automatically sent to you. So, you will be able to ask some questions and comment in between each of the presentations, and we will have a Q&A at the end. So before we start, I think we can introduce the speakers a little bit more. I promised that to you. So Joao, can you let us know a little bit more about who you are and what you do?
Yes, of course, Bente. Hello, everyone. My name is Joao Andrade. I'm a software engineer and technical manager of the ground segment business unit at DEIMOS in Portugal. I've been working in many projects involving typically processing platforms, data archives, big data cataloging. That's the kind of projects I'm involved, and that's it, I think.
Yes, nice. We are excited to hear about the architecture, of course, also one of your activities in DEIMOS. And Koushik, let us learn about you.
Hi, my name is Koushik. I'm also working at DEIMOS alongside Joe. He's my colleague. We work at the data systems division, and I have a degree in computer science and also in business. So I play a role of technology and business innovation. area. I do a lot of project coordination, technical coordination, product management, marketing, business development. So my hands are in different areas. In the scope of NextGEOSS, I'm working as part of the project coordination team, working very closely with Joao in the Data Hub. So very excited to be in this webinar and also to introduce a new catalog, how it looks like and how we can benefit from it. So yeah, so hope you will enjoy.
Yes, absolutely, I'm sure. So just a few words about me as well. So I'm also a partner in NextGEOSS and the project. I have been working with Earth observations since, well, 2003, I guess. From the very beginning, I was involved in GEO, the group on Earth observation. So that's why I'm also super excited to be a part of NextGEOSS. In particular, what we see now in the catalog is really, really good news, making data easier to discover and access. So with that, let us get the more a broader picture of what NextGEOSS Data Hub and Platform is. Koushik, the floor is yours. We will turn off our cameras while the presentations are going on, and then we will come back to you when the questions and when you ask questions.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, all right. So welcome everyone. So today we'll talk about our new revamped launch of the Data Hub. So already made our introduction. So Joao and Koushik. So we are part of DEIMOS group. We are based out in Lisbon, Portugal. So let's give you a brief idea about what's NextGEOSS. So NextGEOSS is a Horizon 2020 program. This has been going on for close to 4 years now. It's a 10 million big project, and the main principle of NextGEOSS is to support GEO, and in the area of Sustainable Development Goals, United Nations that's mandated, the Paris Climate Agreement, and Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction. So our work is a contribution to GEO, and that's the commitment that we have. It's a big project. We have 27 partners. So right today we are representing DEIMOS and also Bente from BLB. And it's a work that we have been doing for 4 years with this large set of consortium with some really renowned institutions and companies, SMEs in Europe. On a high level, if you have to in a 1 minute you have to understand what NextGEOSS is, I would say there are 3 main pillars. So one is a NextGEOSS Data Hub. That's what we're going to talk about today. NextGEOSS Platform Services and NextGEOSS Pilot Applications. And if you think these 3 pillars is works in a very symbiotic way, so where the pilot applications are thematic applications in a various thematic areas like agriculture, monitoring, ocean, climate change, for example, and these pilot applications are our alpha users, and we have been developing a data hub and a set of platform services which actually helps an application developers to build such an application. That's the story that we want to tell. Now, talking about the platform services, the work that we have done, we have actually consolidated and prepared a set of platform services that we are offering to our community, to GEO, to commercial, even to the public. And you can see these are the names of the services that we have, and if you look very closely, there is a story behind it. So if you can see that if you are, for example, a data provider, you're interested to catalog your data, that's why we have the data cataloging service. If you're a service provider, we provide a service to catalog your service in our data hub. And similarly, if you are more towards the area of application development or building the next generation of EU-based processing, we do offer a set of services like a data discovery, which is based on a very standardized OGC compliant open search API, and also user interface that you will learn today. A user feedback mechanism that also allows you to set up within your community portal or any channel that you have where you connect with users to set up a way to collect feedback from your user. And more importantly, we have cloud integration and cloud bursting service, which is catered to when you are interested to move your processing to cloud to get benefited from the scalability and also faster processing, and also user management and operations and analytics. So these are services are meant to move you to the next level of operations. And you can learn a lot about these services if you visit our website and if you go to the platform services section. Now, as I already briefly touched upon who are our target users. So broadly, if we divide them as a data providers, if you're a data provider, we have the mechanism and tools to catalog your data. Applies the same for a service provider. And also, if you are an H2020 projects or any kind of research work that you are doing, and you are looking ways to distribute your data to the larger community, and we have the service here. And also the U applications, which is more towards providing an end-to-end service for you, so that you can bring your algorithm, integrate into cloud, process, and gets benefited from several other services. And right now, so NextGEOSS has 3 types of offering, which is very much in line with the services that I just described to you. So integrate your Palo, that's more like a full-scale integration of your processing algorithm. Although this is based on a la carte manner, so you can choose and pick the platform services that we have. Also catalog your data and also showcasing your application that's more towards service cataloging. Now let's talk about what's new. So before let's delve into the new features and what's the revamped catalog that we have. I would like to recognize some of our key partners. So the NextGEOSS catalog is right now is operated and maintained by us, DEIMOS, and we have an excellent team at our place. So unfortunately, I couldn't name everyone, but I can name our development team. So it's Jose, it's Gonzalo, it's Sergio. We also have Sarah. So there is a big team which is actually working behind making this as a success. And we have our key strategic partners. So AGI is our cloud provider, and I'd like to recognize SESNet as well, who has been providing with the resources where we were able to move this new efficient, or how do I say, more revamped version of this catalog into cloud. And also the Ethiopian, our long-term partner, who has been working with us as a partner in the project and has been helping with developing some plugins, mainly in the area of OpenSearch, that we will as well learn a bit about it very soon. And now, before we move on, let's take a look, and probably I will ask Joao if you can, start making introductions about what we did and in the back end, and like what are the improvements that we have made.
Thank you very much, Koushik. I don't see any questions at this time. I guess there might be others when they are seeing the details of the catalog. So let's see what you have done and how it looks like now, Joao.
Okay, I will share my screen.
Yep.
Okay, I believe now you can see my screen. So thank you, Bente and Koushik, for the introduction. And now, as the product owner and technical manager, I want to present you the architecture evolution of the NextGEOSS catalog. So, as you may know, the NextGEOSS catalog is based on CCAN software, which is an open source data management system to catalog and make data accessible to the users. In this webinar, the idea is mainly to present you the new version of the NextGEOSS catalog, the 2.0 version. But I think it is important first to start by the initial version of the catalog and explain why we decided to move to a distributed approach. So, as you can see in this first image, on the first version of the NextGEOSS catalog, there was only an instance of CCAN installed on a single machine. Okay, We have developed together with Atopian a NextGEOSS skin, which was implemented on the top of CCAN. So the users could easily access the data. And we also developed, as Koushik said, it was Atopian working on this, an open search interface, and it was integrated as a CCAN plugin, so the users could also search and access the data sets using a programming interface. On our side, we were also responsible for the development of many harvesters to collect metadata from different data providers and from different interfaces such as OpenSearch, CSW, WFS, and many others. But as soon as the number of data providers and data sources increased, and we can say that we have now more than 25 providers and more than 100 data collections being harvested, as soon as this number increased, we started experiencing some issues on having multiple harvesters collecting data from the providers at the same time in a single CCAN instance. I mean, the harvesting process was really slow and it was being really difficult to catch up with most of the data sources. So considering that most of the harvesters that we have are continuously running and collecting metadata, and also considering that some data sources publish thousands of data sets per day, we have decided to move to a distributed architecture and launch the NextGEOSS catalog 2.0. So on this second image, as you can see, the architecture of the catalog 2.0 is basically a distributed architecture. So as Koushik said before, we have now a big cluster on SageNet, composed by one master node and multiple worker nodes. Okay, and with this new architecture, there are two main advantages that is important to highlight. The first advantage is scalability. So basically, we can now add as many as nodes we need as soon as we have more data providers and new data harvesters. Or, for example, imagine if a specific node is reaching its limit, so we can add a new node and avoid memory issues, storage issues, and so on. And the second advantage I want to highlight today is the high availability of this new architecture. Let me tell you that on the previous catalog, each time, for example, the operational team was performing any maintenance task, for example, adding a new harvester to CCAN, they needed to shut down the entire catalog because we only had a single instance. With this new architecture, the operational team can be working, for example, in one of the nodes, and the rest of the catalog will be completely functional. Okay. We have also defined detailed processes, so the operational team can operate the catalog without, or at least with a very reduced downtimes. Okay, so these are basically the two main advantages of this new architecture. So looking at this diagram, it is possible to see that we have deployed multiple CCAN instances on the worker nodes, and we spread it to different data providers and data harvesters by those CCANs, depending, for example, on the amount of data sets produced by that data source. I believe it's important also to highlight that right now we are using Docker containers. Okay, so basically to run all the software in this cluster, we are using Docker containers, which will simplify a lot the work of the operational team. Then here on our master node, we have a completely new backend engine. And this backend engine is responsible to manage basically all the queries and requests performed by the users. And this backend engine will always know which nodes to query depending on the information stored on this Postgres database that we have here. So basically, we are storing here static information that will help our backend engine to know which node shall be requested. We have also on this master node a completely new front end with a different look and feel, so the users can search, discover, explore, and access the data sets and also the services cataloged on the NextGEOSS catalog. After my presentation, my colleague Koushik will show you how the new front end looks like and show you some videos. I want also to tell you that the OpenSearch interface that was developed before is still available to the users and developers that want, for example, an API to explore the catalog. And since the OpenSearch was initially developed as a CCAN plugin, each node is now exposing an open search interface, which is managed by our backend here. So you will find information on how to use the open search directly on the front end page, okay, of the catalog. So users will easily be able to use this open search interface. Finally, just to let you know that we are continuously monitoring the state and health of each of the nodes, okay? We have metric bits running and sending information to the NextGEOSS analytics, where we are collecting this information and building dashboards to help our operational team to manage the entire cluster, okay? So let me just tell you that, as you can see, this distributed architecture is not very complex, okay? It's a real simple concept, but it brought many improvements and advantages to the NextGEOSS catalog and also to the users, of course. So welcome to the NextGEOSS catalog 2.0 and enjoy the videos that my colleague will show you. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Joao. I believe that this version of the catalog will be faster than the prior. Is that correct?
Yes, of course. Since we have now this distributed architecture and we have this smart, let's say smart backend engine that knows specifically which node to query and where to send the requests, of course, we can consider that we will have a better performance and we will be able to collect in parallel lots of data sets. So it will be much better for us and for the users, of course. Yeah.
Excellent. Now, Koushik, let's see how it works. I believe you have some demos for us.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go. Let's take a look at the new data hub. Well, so the catalog right now is available via our usual link. If you're already familiar with our project, you know where to look at. So it's catalog.nextgeoss.eu, and once you log in, you will be presented with this new revamped user interface. Let's take a look at some of the features that I thought would be interesting for all of you. Let's try to go through a use case where if you are a user and you want to look for a certain data, what you can do. So if you can see here, you can draw an area of rectangle which is on the map. So let's check the area which is close to Portugal. And when you were searching, as Joao was mentioning, so this search query now goes in the backend and it looks for which node this data is stored, and there you go. There you get the results. And when you get the results, you see the footprints on the map, and you can see there are different providers. For example, in situ from NILU, and also from satellite data from ESA. And I just picked up one of the data sets, which is in situ data, and if I'm a user, I'm now exploring the metadata that's been collected. So, and I try to understand if that fits my needs. I try to make sense that if I'm happy to use this data or not. And then, as you can see here, even on clicking on the map on this particular footprint, you can also then go directly to the metadata. And you can see here there are the download links available, and this is a different provider. This is Sentinel-3 data from the same region. And you can compare and decide which one you prefer, and then in the case that you are interested, so I now would like to download the data. So I click on the download button, and it takes you to the direct download link, and there you go. So you have the data ready for you to download, and then you can move on and continue your work. So that's the use case where you can search, and at the same time, as Joe was mentioning, you can also get the equivalent OpenSearch API call. So when you click on that button, you get this XML description where you can select the data you need. But now let's look at, for the same area, can I get a last 1 week of data? So you can see my start date is 7th and today's date is the end date. So I'm searching that for this area of interest, and there you go. So you have some latest data from last 1 week. So you can explore and see which data you prefer, and then you can download and use for your research, for your work. And then once you are done, you can remove all these filters by clicking on the clear button. So that's the use case where you are looking for a data in a looking for a particular area of interest with some latest data, and it is flexible. Now let's take a look at some other example of how we can search data. So in this case, I can go directly, for example, to look what satellite data are available in the catalog. So you can directly select satellite data or even in situ data, and you can see some of the data providers you have. And you can also select a particular collection that corresponds to that. So you can always choose which, if you are already knowledgeable about the collection name, you can search for the collection name. And you can also choose, for example, you are directly looking for in situ data, and there you go, you can select on the in situ option, and you are presented with the data has been cataloged here. And the same way you can see the collections that are corresponds to in situ data. So for example, I'm selecting some data related to sea motion. That's a work that we have done. In Portugal, the data is coming from Portuguese coast here. So you see here the data related to in situ. So we wanted to make sure that the access to data is made such a way that it caters to different needs of you. So some of you may be looking for only satellite data, some of you are looking for models, statistics, in situ. So we have this categorization so that it helps you to pinpoint to the area or the category of data that you require. Now let's take a look at some other use case. This is a use case where you want to use the free text search here. So you are looking for Sentinel one data, for example. So I'm using the Sentinel word within quotes so that it has the direct match of this word. And it also happens that it goes to the backend, it looks for which node it is, and you can get the results there. The same way, in this case, where I'm trying to find a very recent data, which is like last 3 or 4 days of data, and I look for it, and yes, there we go. We get some recent data sets. And you can see on the foot map that these are the areas that we have for the recent data. And you can explore the metadata. You can see where the data is, and you can download the data sets. You can explore the metadata of the product to decide. And you can see here the ingestion date and also the time range, which is when the data was originally captured, and it's from like 2 days back. And yes, so that's the way you can then look for and search for data. And you can also always click on several options like the footprint. So when you click on that button, it takes you directly to in the map where the data belongs to. You also have some user feedback tool. So where if you want to provide some feedback on the data sets, you can provide that as well, and other users can benefit from it. And also this user feedback is also available to provide on a data collection level, also on the thematic area as well, on the pilot applications. And then we will see some what else other features do we have. So apart from that, what we wanted to do was enhance user experience. For example, based on your work, you can choose different types of base maps. You can choose, like if you work on ocean, you might be more interested in the ocean related map, and some other types of map you can choose from this menu. You can zoom in, zoom out as well based on your criteria, and also click on the support. So if you have any questions and queries, you can always get in touch with us, our support team, operations team. And also, if the catalog is what that you are looking for, you can raise a request to catalog your data. You have to log into our service deck, which is very simple. You can create your account in just a few steps, and once you have the credential, you log in, and you will get access to the service decks where you have these options where you can actually create a ticket to catalog your data, to make a request for a data, and then our operations team get in touch with you. And also, we would like you to send us any feedback do you have. If you think, for example, I would prefer to have a X feature, you are very welcome to do that, and you can now click on the send us feedback button, where if you have a feature request, you can say I like to have this feature, and click on the submit button. So we will receive your request, and we will implement and inform you once we have that feature ready. So as you can see, our approach is very open. We want to make sure that we get your feedback always in mind, and that's how we want to develop. So you can learn about the catalog itself, and also any other queries that you have. And then let's take a look. I think I missed one slide, which would like to go through. Let's see, probably not. I think this one. Yeah, probably not. Okay, I think I have covered everything. I think I forgot to mention about the data provider and data collections tab, where you can directly search for a data provider or data collection. Well, I can show you live. I think that would be one way to go. I think I forgot to show you the catalog. You. I hope you're able to still see my screen. And once you are on this page, you can go to data provider. For example, you have this list of data providers that you can choose from, and you can see from our approach is that we always like to recognize our data providers with clearly identifying who the data providers are. So here, if you're already looking for a particular data provider, you can say search starts typing and you get the name. You can also browse based on the categories of data provider, like in situ, models, statistics. And once you select, you will be taken back to the home page where the data belonging to that particular data provider is shown. The same way, you can also explore the data collections, where, as Joao mentioned, we have more than 100 data collections. So you can explore the names. You can also choose collections belonging to a particular category, and the same functionality is available as well. If you want to look for a sentinel, so you can start typing and it show you the collection names here. And then you can choose a particular collection and you get the results, and you can follow the same procedure. As I told you, like our catalog is not only about the data, we also catalog services, and that's where you can explore. If you go to the thematic areas, where you have several thematic areas and several services that we have cataloged. Some of them are our internal pilots, some of them are external services. So for example, if you go to marine, so where we have cataloged some services from external pilot, and as well as some services that we got in touch with FAO. So and you can click on the particular service and you can explore, for example, what the service is about, get access to some useful links and downloads and some other key information. So as I told you, like our approach is very open. So we would like to hear from you. So tell us if there anything is missing that you would like to have. Is there any feature that you think will be interesting for your work and also can benefit the entire community? So send us your feedback by just filling out this form. We will have like a plan for releases every regularly. So we will take your suggestion and release, and you will know that how your feature has been implemented. So this way, we like to keep this community ongoing. And yeah, I think that's all. So feel free to visit and let us know what you think about it. So it's over to you, Bente.
Yeah, thank you so much, Koushik. This is so great. I think it's great. There are so many things I also wanted to highlight here, actually. I see, but before I have some questions that will hopefully highlight some of the features that you have presented already, Koushik. But Jörg, hello, Jörg. You are asking about something that we have been discussing, of course. He's wondering when we may expect to see the Oscar surface database to show up. Do we have a status on that?
Yes, that's is in our pipeline. we still need some discussions to finalize that. We are in the process, so that's something it's ongoing. I would say, like, this is our interest and also commitment to catalog those data sets as well. So we are clearing our backlog right now. as well knows, we had given a lot of priorities on making the catalog more accessible and more user friendly. And also very soon you will get a new surprise, which is we are working on a very sophisticated, smart way of harvesting data. So Joao, maybe we will have another discussion later where we can catalog data automatically. So that will reduce the time to catalog drastically. So we have prioritized some of our activities, but and we will be considering the Oscar data as well. So it's in our pipeline. So yes, so that's the answer. Yes, it is in our pipeline. We have to finalize some key points.
Yes. I think we are in touch with WMO in that. We have a contact person, Sonia, I believe. Yeah. So this is definitely in the pipeline, and I can confirm that we are discussing this, because this will be very exciting to be able to access Oscar data also via the NextGEOSS data hub and catalog. Please go ahead and ask more questions or comment if you like. Meanwhile, I want to highlight something you actually said, Koushik, but just to make sure that people realize how profoundly we have integrated the user feedback. So we have a user feedback mechanism that you saw both on the catalog itself, as you concluded with, that we want feedback on the catalog, on the NextGEOSS catalog. But then you also have feedback on the collections. So for each of the collections of data, you see that you can give feedback. And also on each of the individual data sets, if I'm not wrong. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. So the feedback, as a user, you can provide feedback on the data sets level, on a collection level, also on the services. So it's very open. So you can have the ability to provide feedback on several categories and hierarchy.
Exactly. And another thing I want to mention with the user feedback, because I mean, for facilitating the use of all this data, it's very useful to know the experience of other users. And this has been discussed in the Earth observation communities for ages already. And we know that it's the University of Barcelona and CRIEF who has developed the user feedback mechanism based on several prior projects. And the thing with this user feedback mechanism, the way they have created this feature, is that it actually connects different portals and catalogs. So if we collectively, in the global community of Earth observation users and providers, use the user feedback mechanism that you see here in this catalog implemented, if we all do that, we can collect, it's created so that we can collect all the user feedback. So as you know, the Sentinel data, for instance, from the Copernicus program, there are many ways of accessing this Sentinel data. So there are many avenues towards using that. But then also with this user feedback mechanism that we have, we can, if everybody, it's not done yet, as far as I understand, maybe some portals, but it's possible to integrate this, implement this on all different platforms using, for instance, access to Sentinel data. So just to mention that and to encourage the feedback, it's really meaningful to give user feedback. That's my point. And Koushik, so this catalog and the software that we are using is based on CCAN, as we showed, as Joao showed clearly. Everything is open source or what?
Yes, everything is open source. So we have, so the way CCAN works, probably Joao can correct me, is that we develop plugins, and these plugins are available in a Git repository. You can explore, you can improve upon, you can reuse. So it's completely open source, and that has been our philosophy. So to make a catalog with a tool, with a plugin that's a well-regarded plugins and the tools in the world in the area of open data. That's the CCAN. So that's where I think we are bridging the gap between the geospatial industry and with the open data world. So that's where the open data world can benefit with some geospatial data, and I mean I think the European investment, that's where the value is created for the community. So yes, it is completely accessible and you can reuse.
That's great, because I think that we want, I mean, potentially the users of the catalog can also join in an open source development community, right, to improve the catalog. Is that within the the concept?
Yeah, absolutely. So our motivation is that we would like to invite create an open source like a community where we will invite participants to come and, for example, build a new harvester, bring a new plugin, and bring some additional feature. And that's where we need all of your help, because we want to know what additional feature do you like to have, because we want to build we don't want to take a technology push approach where we build the technology and try to push into the community, but rather community driven approach where we would like to understand, looking at this catalog, what additional features do you need, and then bring that requirement to the community where we have like a set of developers or enthusiasts in open catalogs. They can build a new plugins, a new features for that everyone can benefit. So that's our goal. And I think you will soon hear some news about what are the new offerings that we will bring, at least for the open community.
Yes, and that brings me to something I want to share. So thank you. Jörg is saying that he appreciates these new applications. So thank you, Jörg, for joining us and giving us feedback. I want to share with you now another opportunity, actually, to follow up on what Koushik said immediately. There's a chance. Let me see. Do I get, yeah, like this? And here you see an overview of what's going to happen. We have in October. So NextGEOSS have had a summit every year since we started, and the last one in the NextGEOSS project period. NextGEOSS will actually continue to exist beyond the project period, in case you didn't notice. So NextGEOSS will not disappear. It will be operational also beyond the project period. But the final summit from this project period is going to take place online, as everybody else is doing right now because of the pandemic, on the 5th to the 9th of October. And we have particularly two sessions here where you can learn more about the data catalog, the data hub. So the NextGEOSS data hub and catalog, the data hub and platform, sorry. So for the first one, in the first one, we are focusing on the perspective of the users of this data hub. And this is dedicated to discover and access Earth observation data and services from the NextGEOSS data hub. So we will then learn more from practical use from both those who were helping us, those users that were helping us developing this catalog. So as you know, we have several pilots who have helped develop this tool for themselves. And the second is for the data, we are focusing on the data providers. So make your Earth observation data and services visible via the NextGEOSS data hub. So you will learn also more from the experience of the data providers, how it has been using the NextGEOSS data hub. And a third, so that's where we will learn more about the catalog as you have been presented today. And then we will also have 3 more sessions where we go further and we have the integration and the deployment of your Earth observation applications in the cloud with NextGEOSS. And we see that from the developer's point of view, but also from we divide this sessions in different subsessions sections, because we cannot spend the whole day in front of the computer. So all these 5 sessions, will be divided in chunks of 1.5 hours throughout the week. You will get the detailed program later on, and then we will. So NextGEOSS as a whole is actually a contribution to GEO, and it's part of EuroGEO, the European caucuses of GEO. And we already have established one community where you can join us, right, Koushik? That could be a starting point to create this open community around the data catalog. Is this right?
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not only that, it's also to further develop the entire NextGEOSS data hub and platform and different services. It goes beyond NextGEOSS, but NextGEOSS is definitely a major component that the users can benefit from. And then we will talk finally more about the results and the future of NextGEOSS. So that will happen in the summit, 5th to the 9th of October, and you can pre-register here. I have included the link. I can include that also in the chat, make it easier for you to use. But that's the next opportunity for you to learn more about the catalog. Let me see. I'll stop sharing. Normally, I'm not sharing so much. I'm normally just host. So yeah, so that's the next opportunity for you to learn more about the catalog and follow up on this. I probably you will have some more features. Isn't that in the pipeline, Koushik?
Yes, we actually have quite a big backlog, and I think that's and we are very excited to work on that. I can already tell you what are the new features that we'll be bringing very soon. So one is we are working to bring a feature where, as a user, you can save your search results such a way that when we can always go back and recreate the same search. I think that we are all going to work. And also we are continuously working with our integration efforts with the GEOS portal, and now we want to make sure that any user who coming to the NextGEOSS catalog has even greater visibility, because we want to connect in a way that you can also search datasets using a widget from NextGEOSS to GEOS portal. This work is ongoing. You will know very soon about that. And also some other features. Some of them are a bit fun for us to build. I think so. It's a mix of a bit of fun and also something to make it more user experience wise, to make it much more nicer, sleeker, and so that at least it gives you it leaves you with some good impression. That's what we want to do. When you visit the NextGEOSS catalog, when you at least it makes a bit a different experience for all of you. So yeah, and as I told you, like this is not one-way street, and it's we want to be part of that. So please let us know anything that you like to have. I mean, give us a wish list. I think that's what we want.
Yes.
How crazy it is doesn't matter.
Don't think about that. No,
yeah.
just don't worry about it.
We will find out a way to implement.
We have a coding wizard and an innovation wizard here, so that'll be fine.
Yeah.
And Marie-Françoise, she's commenting, of course, that we are also using open standards, so which is facilitating the global cooperation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I think I don't see any more questions. And well, I have somebody who raised their hand. Yes, Marie-Françoise, sorry, I didn't see that. I accept. So Marie-Françoise Vadreau from OGC, she's responsible for coordinating this huge event, the summit. So she might have some additional comments on that. Let's see if she can join us. Joao, while we are waiting for Marie-Françoise, how was the transition? Was it hard to do the work? Did you enter any major obstacles, or how was the experience?
No, in fact, it was quite simple, let's say, because the big problem we wanted to solve was basically solved by our new architecture. So since everything we have, or all the software is open source, and also considering that everything we developed is available to the users or other developers to help us improving. It was quite simple. So we basically needed to think about what we need, and we did it. And now we have, I think, a very beautiful catalog and very functional for the users that want to access Earth observation data and also in situ data.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you can actually you can see the categories on Koushik. You showed it. You see the categories: satellite data, in situ data, model. What was the two more categories?
It was model and statistics.
Yes, great.
Yeah, for example, we have some statistics data sets for the COVID-19.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So we really have a great variety of type of data. Marie-Françoise, it looks like you are in the room. Are you here? Maybe you have to unmute yourself or turn on the microphone. It looks like she's with us. But she left the room again and she's joining. Maybe she had to, yes, now the microphone is on, Marie-Françoise. It looks like it's on. So this is, so normally you can go in and out of this room very easily, but there might be some compatibility issues with Marie-Françoise. Let's see. I don't see any messages here. Okay. I don't turn, it looks like it's on. So, well, we have almost gone through almost used 1 hour. So maybe we should end it here. Unfortunately, Marie, well, she's trying one more time. Let's see if that helps. You can speak, Marie-Françoise. Oh, well, meanwhile, I can introduce you to the summit. We have, I think I had the link here somewhere. Yes, for a pre-registration. I promised you that, and you can get that here. No, he can't. Marie-Françoise is saying that she cannot enter the room. Very quickly, you see here the address, the link to pre-register for the summit. We will push out more information from now on until the event itself. So pre-register to get this information. Okay. I think we will say thank you for this time. Do you have anything to add, Joao and Koushik? Oh, here she is.
Hello.
You made it finally, Marie-Françoise. Yes.
Yes. So hi.
Hi.
So yes, I just wanted to emphasize your message on the summit, saying that the philosophy of NextGEOSS is to be user-centric. And so this the agenda has been designed to be user-centric. So for data people who are looking for data, this will be the first session, and it will give you a lot of information you have got today, maybe more, because we are going really quick, now. It's what is very exciting with NextGEOSS. When you have a project that works fine, it's difficult at the beginning to build a wool ball, but then it's increasing very quickly. And we are so excited that the project does not finish and has some follow-ups after. So this is about the session about the data users, and then the data providers, and then if you want to provide an application, and then if you are a geo stakeholder. So it's very user-centric to make sure that everyone will meet the information he's looking for.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you made it into the room, Marie-Françoise. Great. Thank you, Jörg. He had to leave, he told me. We will see you in the next webinar. Actually, very shortly, there will be a webinar about the user feedback mechanism. The date will be announced shortly, but that will happen before the summit. And there will be plenty of other stuff happening online. So follow us on NextGEOSS on Twitter and on Facebook. And that's where you get the information. So visit the catalog and give Koushik and Joao lots and lots of feedback.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Joao. Thank you, Koushik.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.